Imagine floating through the vast, silent vacuum of space. No air, no sound, but somehow a distinct smell. A smell like burnt steak? Hot metal? Maybe even welding fumes? Yes, you heard that right. Space smells, and astronauts have smelled it. Today we dive into one of the strangest and most surprising facts about outer space. Technically, space is a vacuum. There's no air or particles to carry smells in the way we experience them on Earth. So how do astronauts describe the smell of space? The answer lies not in space itself, but in what clings to their suits after a spacewalk. When astronauts re-enter the International Space Station and take off their helmets and gloves, they often notice a peculiar odor clinging to their gear. Astronauts have repeatedly described this scent as burnt steak, hot metal, welding fumes, and even gunpowder. NASA astronaut Don Pettit famously wrote, "It is hard to describe this smell, but it is definitely not alien. It smells like a smell of something I have smelled before." So, what causes this mysterious metallic smoky scent? When astronauts are in space, they're exposed to high-energy atomic oxygen, radiation, and ionized particles. These particles interact with the materials on the suits and spacecraft. When the suits return to the station's pressurized environment, those materials oxidize or react with air for the first time and release volatile compounds. Basically, space cooks the outer layer of your spacesuit, and when it's brought back into breathable air, it gives off a scent that humans recognize as burnt meat or hot metal. One of the major culprits: atomic oxygen, a highly reactive form of oxygen found in low Earth orbit. Atomic oxygen corrodes and breaks down surfaces at a microscopic level. This process releases chemicals, like aldehydes and hydrocarbons, which are similar to the byproducts of combustion. These molecules are what likely trigger our brains to associate the smell with burning, grilling, or welding. Interesting question. Does the smell change depending on where you are in space? Well, technically, yes. Different regions of space contain different dust, gases, and radiation environments. For example, near dying stars or supernovae remnants, there's a higher presence of sulfur compounds. In molecular clouds, you might find traces of formaldehyde, ethanol, even ethyl formate, which bizarrely smells like rum and raspberries. But again, we can't smell these directly. It's only when materials from these environments react in an oxygenated space, like inside the ISS, that we can sense their scent. NASA has actually tried to recreate the smell of space here on Earth. Why? So astronauts can be fully immersed in space-like training, right down to the smells. Specialists created compounds that mimic the metallic, smoky, and slightly sweet scent astronauts report. These are sometimes used in training modules to mentally prepare astronauts for the entire experience. Some perfume companies have even tried to bottle the smell of space, turning it into commercial fragrances. So why does our brain compare these alien smells to things like burnt steak or gunpowder? It all comes down to familiarity. Our brain uses pattern recognition to interpret unknown stimuli. When it detects certain compounds, it links them to similar earthly experiences, like BBQs, car repair shops, or fireworks. In other words, when space-exposed suits vent molecules into the ISS, our brain says, "Hey, that smells like the grill at a summer cookout." From distant galaxies to black holes, space is full of mind-blowing mysteries. But who would have guessed that something as human and relatable as smell would be one of the weirdest facts about space? The scent of space, burnt, metallic, and strange, reminds us that even in the silent vacuum of the cosmos, the universe has a chemical fingerprint that we can detect and even describe. If you found this surprising, imagine what other secret space might still hold, hidden not in the stars, but in our senses. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore more with us on this cosmic journey.